Have you ever wondered what makes certain people unforgettable? What is it about them that keeps others replaying their words, actions, or even the simplest glance long after they've left the room? The truth is, being the kind of person others think about constantly isn't about luck or natural charisma. It's about mastering a set of skills that amplify your presence, deepen connections, and make a lasting impact. But here's the catch. Most people are approaching it all wrong. There's a common misconception that being memorable is about being loud, extravagant, or endlessly interesting. But the reality? It's not about adding more, it's about refining what's already there. When you learn to master the right skills, you'll notice something profound. You'll stop chasing validation and start radiating authenticity. Others will naturally gravitate toward you, unable to get you out of their minds. This video will unveil the 10 transformative skills that, when practiced deliberately, will make others think about you non-stop. These aren't gimmicks or shallow tricks, they're foundational tools grounded in Stoic principles and human psychology. Each one has the power to reshape not just how others perceive you, but how you carry yourself in the world. Stay with me, because at the end of this, you'll not only understand these skills, but you'll also feel equipped to apply them. The process of self-mastery is deeply personal and uniquely rewarding. Ready to dive in? 1. Start with emotional intelligence, EQ. Let's begin with what might be the most underrated superpower, emotional intelligence. Why does EQ matter so much? Because emotions drive human behavior. The way someone feels in your presence determines whether they'll think about you long after you're gone. Do you make them feel seen, valued, and understood? Or do they walk away feeling ignored, dismissed, or worse, indifferent? To master emotional intelligence, ask yourself, how often do I truly listen to others? Most people hear to reply, not to understand. When was the last time you paused during a conversation, truly absorbing not just someone's words, but the emotions behind them? Developing this skill starts with mindfulness. When you enter a conversation, be present. Silence your inner dialogue and focus entirely on the other person. A critical aspect of EQ is empathy, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. But don't confuse empathy with agreeing or fixing. It's about acknowledgement. Consider this. If a friend shares a struggle, do you rush to offer solutions, or do you sit with them, letting them know it's okay to feel what they're feeling? The latter leaves a lasting impression because you validated their experience without judgment. Here's where Stoicism comes into play. Stoicism teaches us to control our own emotions rather than being controlled by them. When you demonstrate emotional stability, others will feel safer around you. Think about the people in your life who remain calm and composed, even in stressful situations. Don't they inspire trust? By mastering your own emotional responses, you not only model emotional intelligence, but also create an atmosphere where others feel emotionally secure. Now, let's address a practical way to improve your EQ today. Ask better questions. Instead of the typical "how are you?" try, "what's been the highlight of your day so far?" This subtle shift transforms a bland interaction into one that invites deeper sharing. The beauty of high EQ conversations is their ability to linger in someone's mind, often replaying because they're rare. Lastly, remember this. Building emotional intelligence isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Every time you choose to listen instead of interrupt, to validate instead of dismiss, you're making yourself unforgettable. How could anyone not think about someone who consistently makes them feel understood and valued? 2. Master the art of storytelling. Now that we've explored emotional intelligence, let's move to a skill that has shaped human connections for thousands of years: storytelling. Think about it, what's more memorable? A list of facts or a well-told story that sparks your imagination? Stories resonate deeply because they evoke emotions, paint vivid pictures in the mind, and create a shared experience. If you want people to think about you non-stop, you need to become a master storyteller. But let me ask you this. How often do you share your personal experiences in a way that captivates others? It's not about being dramatic or overly complex. It's about finding the moments in your life, no matter how small, that reveal something meaningful about who you are. When shared authentically, these stories leave a deep imprint on others. Great storytelling begins with vulnerability. Stoicism teaches us the value of embracing challenges and hardships as opportunities for growth. Sharing your struggles or lessons learned doesn't make you weak. It makes you relatable. Have you ever felt a stronger bond with someone because they opened up about their imperfections? That's the power of a vulnerable story. It creates connection and trust. Here's how to craft a memorable story. Start with a hook. This could be a surprising fact, a moment of tension, or an intriguing question. For example, instead of saying, "I had a rough week," you could begin with, "Have you ever felt like life throws you curveballs right when you think you've got it all figured out?" Immediately, you've drawn people in, making them curious about what's next. Next, build the narrative with purpose. What lesson or emotion do you want to leave your audience with? Don't ramble or include unnecessary details. Focus on the core message. For example, imagine sharing a story about a time when you overcame a challenge at work. Highlight the emotions you felt: frustration, determination, relief, and end with the insight you gained. That insight, whether about resilience, teamwork, or self-belief, is what sticks in people's minds. The beauty of storytelling lies in its ability to evoke emotions. People might forget what you said, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. So weave in sensory details to make your story vivid. Describe the sights, sounds, and even smells that bring the moment to life. Instead of saying it was a busy day, try, "The office buzzed with the sound of ringing phones and hurried footsteps as I stared at the clock, counting down the minutes." These small details create a mental movie for your listener. Now let's talk about delivery. Confidence is key. Even the most compelling story will fall flat if you don't believe in it. Practice telling your stories with energy and conviction. Use pauses strategically to let key moments sink in. Vary your tone to match the mood, gentle for reflective parts, excited for climactic moments. Your enthusiasm and authenticity will make your audience hang on to every word. But what if you feel like your life isn't interesting enough to share stories? That's simply not true. Everyone has stories worth telling. The secret is to find meaning in the ordinary. For example, a walk in the park can become a story about mindfulness, or a conversation with a stranger can teach a lesson about kindness. It's not about what happens, it's about the perspective you bring to it. Storytelling is a powerful tool, not just for capturing attention, but for staying in someone's mind. When you share a part of yourself, you give others something to hold on to, a piece of your identity, a glimpse of your humanity. And in the days or weeks to come, they'll find themselves thinking about you, replaying your words, and maybe even sharing your story with someone else. Before we move on, let me ask you this. Do you enjoy stories as much as I do? If you're finding this valuable so far, show some love. Hit the like button and comment number 1 below to let me know you're here with me. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the rest of this transformative journey. Every skill we're exploring is designed to help you not just connect with others, but leave a lasting impact that echoes long after the moment has passed. Let's keep going, because the next skill builds on the foundation of storytelling and takes it to an entirely new level. 3. Develop a magnetic presence. Have you ever entered a room and instantly felt drawn to someone, even before they said a word? That's the power of presence. It's an intangible yet unmistakable quality that makes someone magnetic. Developing a commanding presence isn't about being loud or the center of attention. It's about exuding quiet confidence and authenticity. If you master this, you'll naturally linger in people's minds long after you've left their sight. To develop a magnetic presence, start by asking yourself this: how do I carry myself? Your body language speaks volumes before you say a single word. Do you stand tall with an open posture, or do you slump and shrink into the background? Confidence isn't just something you feel, it's something you show. Practice standing straight, shoulders relaxed, and maintaining steady eye contact. These simple adjustments signal assurance and approachability, making others take notice. Another key to presence is your energy. What kind of atmosphere do you bring into a space? People are drawn to those who radiate calm confidence or uplifting enthusiasm. Stoicism teaches us to remain composed in the face of chaos, and that steadiness becomes a beacon for others. Picture someone who stays grounded even when everything around them feels uncertain. Don't they stand out as someone you trust and admire? A magnetic presence also comes from being fully present. In our fast-paced world, genuine attention is rare. When you give someone your undivided focus, you create a moment that feels significant. How often do you put away distractions during conversations? Are you listening actively, or are you waiting for your turn to speak? By tuning into others with curiosity and intent, you make them feel seen, and that feeling is unforgettable. It's also worth considering how you use your voice. The way you speak has just as much impact as the words you say. Practice speaking with clarity and purpose. A calm, measured tone conveys confidence, while varying your pitch and pace keeps people engaged. Avoid filler words like or like, as they can detract from the strength of your message. Instead, embrace pauses. They give your words weight and invite others to hang on to them. But presence isn't only about your outward demeanor, it's about your inner state. A scattered or anxious mind shows through, no matter how polished you appear. This is where Stoicism becomes invaluable. By cultivating inner peace and focusing on what you can control, you project stability. When you're at ease with yourself, others will feel at ease with you too. Now, let's talk about how to leave a lasting impression when interacting with others. Presence isn't just about how you act in a group, it's about the one-on-one moments you create. Do you remember names and details about people's lives? Do you follow up on conversations, showing that you value their time and words? These small acts demonstrate that you care, and people will think about you because you've made them feel important. Another layer of presence lies in your consistency. Are your actions and words aligned? People remember those who are genuine, who stay true to their values regardless of the situation. When you show integrity, you become someone others respect and admire, someone they can't help but think about long after you've interacted. Finally, don't underestimate the power of a genuine smile. A warm, authentic smile has an almost magical ability to disarm and connect. It's a simple gesture, yet it can change the entire tone of an interaction. How often do you smile? Not out of obligation, but because you're genuinely happy to connect with someone. That energy is contagious and leaves a positive mark. Developing a magnetic presence is a journey, not an overnight transformation. It's about becoming intentional in how you move through the world, how you show up for others, and how you connect with yourself. As you refine this skill, you'll notice that people not only think about you but also seek you out, drawn to the energy you bring. The impression you leave won't just fade away, it will echo in their minds, creating a lasting ripple effect. 4. Excel in the skill of deep conversations. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you had a truly meaningful conversation? One that stuck with you, resonated in your thoughts, and perhaps even made you see the world differently. Most people underestimate the power of deep conversations, but they're one of the most effective ways to make others think about you long after you've parted ways. Why do deep conversations matter so much? They create a sense of connection that transcends the surface level. Talking about the weather or what's trending online might fill the silence, but it doesn't linger in someone's mind. However, when you engage in a conversation that touches on values, dreams, fears, or even shared curiosities, you open the door to something profound. Authenticity. And authenticity, as Stoicism reminds us, is what grounds us in truth and builds genuine relationships. So how do you excel at deep conversations? First, it starts with being present. In today's world, distractions are everywhere: phones, notifications, or even your own thoughts. When you engage in a conversation, commit to it fully. Look the person in the eye, set aside your phone, and listen with intention. People can feel when you're truly paying attention, and it's a rare quality that makes you unforgettable. The second key is to ask thoughtful, open-ended questions. Instead of "How are you?" ask "What's been the most rewarding part of your week so far?" This invites a richer response and signals that you're genuinely interested in their experience. When you show curiosity about someone's perspective, you create a space where they feel safe to open up. Think about this. How often do people feel genuinely heard in their day-to-day lives? By being the person who listens deeply, you naturally stand out. But listening isn't just about hearing words, it's about picking up on emotions. What is the person really saying? If they talk about a busy day, do you sense pride in their productivity or exhaustion from overwork? Reflecting back what you hear, both the words and the underlying feelings can be transformative. For example, saying, "It sounds like you're juggling a lot right now, but it seems like you're proud of how you're handling it," shows that you're paying attention on a deeper level. Another way to deepen conversations is by sharing your own thoughts and feelings vulnerably. Stoicism teaches us to embrace our humanity, including our fears and uncertainties. When you share something personal, not just what you think, but how you feel, you signal trust and invite the other person to do the same. For example, instead of simply agreeing with someone's comment about chasing their goals, you might share, "I've been working on that too. It's not always easy, but I've realized the journey itself can be just as rewarding as the outcome." This creates a mutual sense of exploration, making the conversation more memorable. Now, let's address a common pitfall, the fear of silence. Many people rush to fill gaps in conversation, but silence can be powerful. When you give someone space to think, you show that their words matter. Embrace pauses. They often lead to the kind of reflection that makes conversations profound. Lastly, take conversations beyond the moment. If someone shares a meaningful insight or goal with you, follow up later. Send a quick message or ask about their progress the next time you see them. This small act of care proves that you were truly invested, reinforcing the bond you've created. And here's the magic. When you show genuine interest, people can't help but think of you because they feel seen and valued. Imagine a world where every conversation you have leaves a positive imprint on the other person. What kind of legacy would you create? Stoicism reminds us to focus on what we can control, and in conversations, that's your presence, your curiosity, and your authenticity. Mastering this skill isn't about being perfect, it's about being intentional. When you approach conversations with a genuine desire to connect, you become unforgettable. Before we move on, let me ask, does this resonate with you? Are you ready to start building deeper, more meaningful connections? If you're loving this journey so far, let me know. Hit that like button and comment number 1 below to show your support. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you can continue learning these transformative skills. There's so much more to come, and I promise, it only gets better from here. Stay with me because the next skill will elevate your ability to create an even stronger impression. 5. Refine your humor and wit. Laughter is one of the most universal ways to connect with others. It's a language that transcends cultures, backgrounds, and even barriers. If you want to leave an unforgettable impression, refining your humor and wit is essential. But let's be clear, this isn't about turning yourself into a comedian or cracking jokes nonstop. True humor lies in timing, subtlety, and understanding your audience. Have you ever noticed how someone with a sharp sense of humor can instantly light up a room? The magic of humor is its ability to create ease and break down walls. When used correctly, it becomes a tool to make others feel comfortable, engaged, and drawn to your energy. But how do you refine this skill if you're not naturally witty? It starts with awareness. First, understand that humor doesn't have to be loud or over the top. Some of the most effective moments of humor are quiet and understated. A clever observation, a playful tease, or a quick one-liner often does more than an elaborate joke. Pay attention to the moments around you. Humor is everywhere if you're looking for it. A mundane situation like waiting in line or dealing with a minor inconvenience can often turn into an opportunity to share a lighthearted comment that others remember. One key to developing humor is learning to laugh at yourself. Stoicism teaches us to maintain humility and perspective, and a big part of that is not taking yourself too seriously. When you can poke fun at your own quirks or missteps, you demonstrate confidence and self-awareness. Imagine someone sharing a story about how they spilled coffee on themselves before an important meeting. Instead of complaining, they joke about it being their way of keeping things grounded. That kind of humor is relatable and endearing. Another aspect of wit is quick thinking. While this might seem like a talent reserved for the naturally gifted, it's a skill that can be cultivated. Practice responding playfully to everyday situations. For example, if someone says, "It's freezing outside," you could reply, "Nature's way of making sure we don't take summer for granted." These small moments of banter may seem insignificant, but they linger in people's minds because they're unexpected and engaging. However, with humor comes responsibility. Not all jokes land well, and not all situations call for humor. Being sensitive to context is crucial. Avoid humor that could offend, alienate, or make someone feel uncomfortable. The goal is to bring people closer, not to push them away. Ask yourself, does this comment bring joy, or could it cause harm? When in doubt, it's better to stay neutral. Another way to refine your humor is by learning from others. Pay attention to people who make you laugh effortlessly. What is it about their delivery or phrasing that works? Often it's not just what they say, but how they say it. A pause, a raised eyebrow, or a slight smile can turn a simple sentence into something memorable. Humor is as much about nonverbal cues as it is about words. Let's also consider how humor creates lasting memories. Think about a time when someone made you laugh so hard you couldn't stop thinking about it. That memory likely sticks with you not just because it was funny, but because it made you feel good. When you bring that kind of joy to someone else, you become a part of their story, a moment they recall and share with others. Lastly, humor isn't just about making others laugh, it's about creating shared moments of joy. When you find humor in the world around you and invite others into that experience, you build a connection that lasts. It's not about trying too hard or forcing it. The most memorable humor often comes from authenticity and spontaneity. By refining your humor and wit, you don't just make others think about you, you make them look forward to being around you. Every laugh you share strengthens the bond between you, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond the moment. And the beauty of humor, when used with care and kindness, is that it doesn't just make life lighter, it makes it more meaningful. As Stoicism reminds us, life is full of challenges, but it's also full of moments worth savoring. Humor helps us see the beauty in the absurd and the joy in the everyday, making us not only unforgettable, but also a source of light for others. 6. Cultivate a sense of mystery. Have you ever met someone who intrigued you? Someone who seemed to hold a world of secrets just beneath the surface? This is the power of mystery. It captivates, it draws people in, and it makes them think about you even when you're not there. If you want to leave an impression that lingers, cultivating a sense of mystery is a skill worth mastering. But let me clarify. Being mysterious doesn't mean being aloof, secretive, or unapproachable. It's not about withholding all your thoughts or emotions. True mystery is about creating curiosity. It's about giving people just enough to spark their imagination while leaving them wanting more. And when done well, it can make your presence magnetic. So how do you cultivate this elusive quality? First, embrace the art of selective sharing. Not every detail about your life needs to be broadcasted. When you meet someone, resist the urge to over-explain or overshare. Instead of saying, "I've been working on a personal project for 3 months," try, "I've been working on something exciting, but it's still in progress." This subtle shift creates intrigue, prompting the other person to wonder and ask questions. But mystery isn't just about what you say, it's about how you say it. Your tone, body language, and expressions all contribute to the aura you create. Imagine sharing a story but pausing strategically before delivering the punchline or key detail. Those moments of anticipation draw people in, making them hang on to your words. The pause, as Stoicism teaches, is where clarity and intention can shine. Another aspect of mystery is unpredictability. When people can't quite predict your next move, you naturally become more fascinating. This doesn't mean being inconsistent or unreliable, it's about breaking the mold. For example, if you're known for being serious, occasionally show your playful side. If you're usually reserved, share a bold or unexpected opinion. These subtle shifts keep people engaged, as they're constantly discovering new dimensions of your personality. Let's not forget that mystery also thrives in simplicity. Sometimes doing less is more powerful. Think of someone who doesn't always feel the need to fill the silence, who answers questions thoughtfully instead of rushing to respond. Their calm and measured demeanor creates an air of depth and self-assurance that others can't help but admire. In the words of Stoicism, simplicity is often the path to the profound. One practical way to cultivate mystery is by mastering your online presence. Social media can be a double-edged sword when it comes to creating intrigue. Instead of sharing every detail of your day, focus on posting selectively and meaningfully. Share glimpses into your passions, hobbies, or thoughts, but leave some aspects of your life off the digital stage. This balance keeps people curious and engaged. But let's address an important question. How do you balance being mysterious with being authentic? It's not about constructing a facade or playing games. Authenticity remains at the core of who you are. Mystery simply adds layers to your authenticity, making you multidimensional. It's about being open enough to connect but reserved enough to maintain your depth. Think about the people who've left a lasting impression on you. Were they the ones who revealed everything about themselves up front? Or were they the ones who shared their stories in layers, drawing you in with every interaction? Likely it's the latter. This is the essence of mystery. It makes others want to know you more, to dig deeper, and to keep thinking about you long after you've parted ways. Before we move on, I want to hear from you. If you're enjoying this journey so far, let me know by hitting that like button and commenting number 1 below. And if you're ready to explore more transformative skills like this, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a single step on this path to self-mastery. There's still so much to uncover, and I promise, the next skill will take your ability to leave an unforgettable impression to even greater heights. Stay with me. It only gets better from here. 7. Learn the power of gratitude and compliments. Gratitude and genuine compliments are often underestimated in their ability to leave a lasting impact. Yet, these simple gestures possess the power to linger in someone's mind long after the moment has passed. Why? Because they fulfill one of humanity's most profound needs, the desire to feel valued and appreciated. Mastering this skill doesn't just make others think about you, it makes them feel good about themselves, and by extension about you. Let's start with gratitude. How often do you take the time to express genuine appreciation for the people around you? In our fast-paced world, gratitude can feel like an afterthought, something implied rather than explicitly stated. But when you actively express it, it becomes a powerful tool for connection. Consider this. When was the last time someone thanked you for something specific you did? How did it make you feel? Gratitude, when given authentically, creates a moment of warmth that lingers. The key to meaningful gratitude is specificity. A generic thanks is nice, but it doesn't carry the same weight as something personal and detailed. Instead of saying, "Thanks for your help," try, "I really appreciate how you took the time to explain that concept to me. It made a huge difference." The specificity shows that you notice their effort, and that's what makes it memorable. Gratitude also ties beautifully into Stoicism. Stoic teachings encourage us to focus on what we can control and to recognize the value in even the smallest things. By cultivating gratitude, you train your mind to see the good around you, even in challenging circumstances. When you share this perspective with others, it becomes contagious. People will remember you not just for your words, but for the way you made them see the world a little brighter. Now let's talk about compliments. A well-timed, thoughtful compliment has the ability to transform someone's day. But there's a distinction between a surface-level remark and a genuine acknowledgement. Compliments that focus on qualities rather than appearances tend to have a deeper impact. For example, instead of saying, "You look great today," try, "Your dedication and attention to detail in that project were incredible. It really inspired me." This kind of compliment speaks to who they are, not just how they appear, and it sticks. However, like any skill, giving compliments requires balance. Overdoing it can come across as insincere or even manipulative. The key is authenticity. Compliment when you truly mean it, and don't be afraid to let your admiration show. If you notice something remarkable about someone, say it. Most people are so focused on their own insecurities that hearing someone highlight their strengths can be transformative. Gratitude and compliments also have a ripple effect. When you express appreciation or acknowledge someone's efforts, they're likely to pass that positivity on to others. This ripple creates a chain of goodwill that often circles back to you in unexpected ways. Think about it, wouldn't you remember the person who uplifted your spirits when you needed it most? There's also an art to receiving gratitude and compliments. Stoicism teaches us to approach life with humility, and that includes how we respond to praise. Instead of deflecting or downplaying someone's kind words, accept them graciously. A simple thank you. That means a lot to me, not only honors the person giving the compliment, but also reinforces the connection between you. Finally, consider how you can make gratitude and compliments a habit in your daily life. Start small, write a thank you note, send a kind message, or simply take a moment to acknowledge someone's efforts in person. These small acts, when done consistently, build a reputation for you as someone who uplifts and inspires others. Think about the people in your life who consistently express gratitude and offer genuine compliments. Don't they leave a lasting impression? When you embody these traits, you create a presence that others can't help but think about. It's not about flattery or obligation, it's about recognizing the value in others and sharing that recognition with sincerity. By mastering gratitude and compliments, you not only strengthen your relationships but also elevate your own sense of purpose and connection. In a world where recognition is often overlooked, being the person who notices and appreciates will make you unforgettable. It's a skill that costs nothing but creates immense value for everyone involved. 8. Become a master at problem solving. When was the last time someone came to you for help solving a problem? Did you notice how their trust in you deepened, how their appreciation grew, or how their perception of you shifted? Mastering the skill of problem solving is one of the most effective ways to make people think about you nonstop. Why? Because when you help someone overcome a challenge, you become associated with clarity, competence, and dependability, the kind of traits that leave an enduring mark on their minds. Problem solving is about more than just finding quick fixes. It's about approaching challenges with creativity, patience, and a mindset of resilience. Stoicism offers a powerful framework here. Focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. When you embody this principle, you bring a sense of calm and purpose to even the most chaotic situations, and people remember that. The first step in becoming a problem-solving master is shifting your perspective. Instead of viewing problems as burdens, see them as opportunities to grow, connect, and showcase your resourcefulness. Think about how this mindset alone changes your approach to challenges. Instead of being overwhelmed, you start asking, what can I learn from this? How can I turn this into a win? When others see you handle obstacles with this attitude, they're drawn to your confidence and ability to thrive under pressure. Another critical aspect of problem solving is understanding the problem fully before jumping to solutions. Too often, people rush to fix things without taking the time to ask the right questions. When someone comes to you with an issue, pause and ask, what's the real problem here? What are the underlying causes? This deliberate approach shows that you're thoughtful, and it often uncovers insights that others might miss. Creativity is also a cornerstone of effective problem solving. Instead of relying on conventional solutions, think outside the box. Explore alternatives, brainstorm possibilities, and don't be afraid to take a different approach. For example, if someone is struggling with time management, you might suggest they focus not on squeezing more into their day, but on eliminating unnecessary tasks. Solutions like these stand out because they challenge the status quo and offer fresh perspectives. But what about the situations where you don't have an immediate answer? This is where humility comes into play. Admit when you don't know something, but follow it up with action. I'm not sure right now, but let me do some research or think it through, and I'll get back to you. This honesty builds trust because it shows you're reliable without pretending to have all the answers. And when you follow through, you cement your reputation as someone dependable and resourceful. Another key to becoming unforgettable as a problem solver is your ability to remain calm under pressure. When things go wrong, emotions often run high. People panic, get frustrated, or feel stuck. If you're the one who remains composed, you instantly become the anchor others look to. Stoicism teaches us to separate what we can control from what we can't, and this clarity allows us to respond instead of react. When you bring this steady presence into a crisis, you become the person others rely on. Collaboration is another powerful tool. You don't need to solve every problem alone. In fact, involving others can often lead to better outcomes. Encourage brainstorming. ask for input, and be open to different perspectives. Not only does this approach lead to more innovative solutions, but it also fosters a sense of teamwork and connection. When people feel like they've solved a problem with you, they're more likely to think of you positively in the future. Let's also not overlook the importance of celebrating successes. When you've helped someone overcome a challenge, take a moment to acknowledge the effort and progress. This celebration reinforces the positive experience and makes it more memorable. For example, if a friend successfully implemented a solution you suggested, you might say, "I knew you'd figure it out, you handled that brilliantly." This acknowledgement keeps the moment fresh in their mind and associates you with the victory. Finally, consider how you can use problem solving to serve not just individuals but your community or workplace. When you step up to address bigger challenges, whether it's organizing a team, fixing a process, or finding a way to bring people together, you demonstrate leadership. This kind of initiative doesn't just make you memorable, it makes you indispensable. Before we wrap up this section, let me ask, have you found value in this skill so far? If so, hit the like button and comment number 1 below to let me know you're here and ready to take your problem-solving skills to the next level. And if you're not already part of our community, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of the remaining skills we're uncovering. Each one builds on the last, creating a complete toolkit for leaving a lasting impression. Stick with me because the next skill will show you how to turn your presence into a force that others can't ignore. You're on the path to becoming truly unforgettable, and it only gets better from here. 9. Perfect the skill of active presence. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone was so fully present with you that you felt like the most important person in the world? Their attention wasn't divided, their focus was unwavering, and their responses showed that they truly heard you. That is the power of active presence, and it's a skill that can make you unforgettable. Active presence begins with mindfulness, being fully engaged in the moment, not distracted by thoughts about the past or future. It's a skill that sounds simple, but is increasingly rare in a world filled with endless notifications and competing demands for our attention. When you master this ability, you stand out immediately because you offer something most people crave but rarely experience: undivided attention. The first step to cultivating active presence is eliminating distractions. When you're with someone, put your phone away, turn off notifications, and resist the urge to glance around the room. Think about how it feels when someone is half listening to you while scrolling through their phone. Compare that to the feeling of having someone's full focus. Which experience stays with you? By choosing to be present, you signal that the person in front of you matters, and that alone leaves a lasting impression. Next, practice deep listening. Listening isn't just about hearing words, it's about understanding the emotions and intentions behind them. When someone speaks, pay attention not just to what they're saying, but how they're saying it. Are they excited, anxious, or uncertain? Reflecting their feelings back to them, whether through a nod, a thoughtful pause, or a clarifying question, shows that you're truly engaged. For example, if a friend shares their excitement about a new opportunity, saying, "It sounds like you're really passionate about this. What excites you the most?" deepens the conversation and reinforces your connection. Body language also plays a vital role in active presence. Your posture, eye contact, and facial expressions all communicate whether you're fully engaged. Leaning slightly forward, maintaining open body language, and nodding occasionally can signal that you're genuinely interested. Eye contact in particular is powerful. It conveys trust, sincerity, and attentiveness. However, balance is key. Overly intense eye contact can feel overwhelming, so find a natural rhythm that works for you. One of the most important aspects of active presence is responding with intention. Have you ever noticed how many people default to generic responses like "that's interesting" or "wow, really"? While these might fill the space, they don't deepen the interaction. Instead, aim to respond in ways that show you've truly absorbed what the other person has said. For instance, if someone shares a personal story, you might say, "That must have been such a challenging experience. How did you find the strength to get through it?" This kind of thoughtful response not only keeps the conversation meaningful but also makes the other person feel valued. Stoicism can further guide your approach to active presence by encouraging you to focus on what is within your control. You may not be able to change someone's situation or feelings, but you can control how you show up for them. This philosophy reminds us that presence isn't about fixing or solving, it's about being there fully and authentically. And when you consistently bring this kind of attention to your relationships, you naturally become someone others think about long after the moment has passed. Another important element of active presence is the ability to sit with silence. Many people feel uncomfortable with pauses in conversation and rush to fill them. However, silence can be a powerful tool. It gives others space to reflect, gather their thoughts, and share more deeply. When you're comfortable with silence, you create a sense of ease that invites openness. Finally, consider how active presence extends beyond one-on-one interactions. When you bring this skill to group settings, you not only enhance individual connections but also elevate the energy of the entire group. Whether it's contributing thoughtfully to a team discussion, acknowledging someone's contribution in a meeting, or simply being fully engaged during a shared experience, your presence sets a tone that others will remember. Active presence isn't just about making others feel seen, it's about transforming the way you show up in the world. It's a practice that deepens your relationships, sharpens your focus, and aligns you with your values. In a sense, it's one of the purest forms of Stoicism because it's rooted in mindfulness, self-control, and intentionality. I think about the impact you could have if every interaction you had was marked by this level of attention and care. How would it change your relationships, your reputation, and the way others perceive you? The truth is, when you master active presence, you don't just make people think about you, you make them feel something profound, something they won't easily forget. 10. Invest in lifelong learning and unique knowledge. Have you ever been captivated by someone simply because of the way they spoke about a topic they were passionate about? Their enthusiasm, depth of understanding, and the unique insights they shared drew you in, leaving you wanting to hear more. That's the power of lifelong learning and cultivating unique knowledge. When you consistently grow and explore new areas of interest, you naturally become a person others think about, admire, and even aspire to emulate. Lifelong learning isn't just about formal education, it's a mindset. It's about approaching the world with curiosity and a hunger for growth. When you commit to learning, you're constantly evolving, gaining new perspectives, and discovering ways to enrich your interactions with others. Think about the last time you shared something fascinating you recently learned. Didn't it spark interest and engagement in the people around you? The beauty of lifelong learning is its limitless nature. You can dive into any subject that excites you, whether it's art, science, philosophy, or even a niche hobby. What matters most is not just acquiring information, but cultivating a deeper understanding of the world and your place in it. Stoicism, for example, encourages us to seek wisdom, reflect on life's complexities, and find meaning in both triumphs and challenges. This philosophical approach to learning can guide you in becoming not just knowledgeable but profoundly insightful. So how do you apply this skill to become unforgettable? First, identify topics that genuinely interest you. Passion is contagious, and when you're excited about what you're learning, others will naturally be drawn to your enthusiasm. For instance, if you're fascinated by astronomy, sharing the wonder of a recent discovery or explaining a cosmic phenomenon can spark curiosity in those around you. Your unique knowledge becomes a bridge for deeper connections. Next, focus on how you present what you've learned. Lifelong learners aren't just repositories of facts, they're storytellers, weaving their knowledge into compelling narratives that inspire others. Instead of simply stating, "Did you know that Stoicism emphasizes controlling your reactions?" you could frame it as, "I recently came across a Stoic principle that transformed how I handle stress. What if you could approach any challenge with unshakable calm?" This approach invites engagement and leaves others intrigued. But lifelong learning isn't just about broadening your knowledge, it's also about exploring the depth of your interests. When you become a subject matter expert or deeply proficient in a specific area, people start seeking your input and insight. Whether it's mastering a language, excelling in a craft, or becoming well-versed in Stoic relationships, this depth of expertise distinguishes you from the crowd. One of the most underrated aspects of lifelong learning is its ability to build humility. The more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know. This humility is both grounding and magnetic. It shows that you're open to growth, willing to admit your limitations, and eager to explore new ideas. People gravitate toward those who embrace the journey of learning without arrogance. It's also essential to share your knowledge generously. When you teach or guide others, you reinforce your understanding while creating opportunities for connection. For example, mentoring someone at work, hosting a workshop on a topic you love, or simply sharing a book recommendation can leave a lasting impression. People will remember not just what you shared, but the generosity and enthusiasm with which you shared it. Let's not forget the impact of applying your knowledge in real life. Lifelong learning isn't just about consuming information, it's about using what you've learned to make a difference. Whether you're solving a problem, improving a process, or offering a fresh perspective in a discussion, your ability to turn knowledge into action is what truly sets you apart. People think about you because you're not just learning for the sake of it, you're using what you know to add value. Finally, consider how this skill shapes your identity. Lifelong learners are dynamic, evolving, and inspiring. They remind others of what's possible when you approach life with curiosity and courage. By investing in your growth, you become someone who not only commands attention but also uplifts and empowers those around you. Now, let me ask, are you ready to commit to becoming a lifelong learner? If this resonates with you, hit that like button and comment number 1 below. I'd love to hear how you plan to cultivate your unique knowledge and passions. And if you're not already part of our community, subscribe to this channel so you can continue learning and growing alongside us. Together, we're building a toolkit of skills that make life richer, relationships deeper, and connections unforgettable. Stick with me because we're about to wrap up this transformative journey with a powerful conclusion. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. You've made it to the end of this journey, and now you're armed with 10 transformative skills that can make people think about you non-stop. From mastering emotional intelligence to cultivating mystery, from refining your humor to becoming a lifelong learner, you've explored a toolkit designed not just to captivate others, but to help you grow into the best version of yourself. But here's the real secret. This isn't just about others thinking of you, it's about how these skills elevate your own life. When you focus on building deep connections, embracing curiosity, and sharing your authentic self, you're not just remembered, you're admired. You don't just leave an impression, you create an experience that stays with people. Let's take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. Think about the skills that resonate most with you. Are you ready to dive into the art of storytelling, to perfect the skill of active presence, or perhaps to explore lifelong learning with a renewed sense of curiosity? Every one of these skills is a doorway to stronger relationships, greater self-awareness, and a legacy of meaningful impact. And here's where Stoicism weaves everything together. The Stoic mindset reminds us to focus on what we can control, our actions, our character, and our responses. It's through this lens that we cultivate these skills, not for fleeting approval but for lasting fulfillment. By mastering these skills, you align your actions with your values, ensuring that the impression you leave is one of authenticity and substance. Now the question is, what will you do next? Will you start by practicing gratitude? Will you step into a conversation with the intention of creating a deeper connection? Or will you challenge yourself to embrace lifelong learning in a way that feels exciting and personal? Whatever you choose, remember that growth happens one small step at a time. If this video has inspired you to take action, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments which skill you're excited to start working on. And if you've enjoyed this journey, hit that subscribe button so you can continue exploring ways to deepen your relationships, elevate your mindset, and become the person others can't stop thinking about. Thank you for being here, for committing to your own growth, and for sharing this space with me. Here's to building not just memorable moments, but meaningful connections that last. I can't wait to see how these skills transform your life. Until next time, take care and keep growing. You've got this.